Aloha, gang. Happy Tuesday. And yes, it is Tuesday. I don't normally go live today, but as I was saying to someone else, I'm watching these press conferences as it is, so I might as well come together with a bunch of people that I enjoy hanging out with and hearing what is going on. I think, guys, when I heard about this one, they said something there was going to be some announcements with this, so I'm not sure about that one. I'm keeping an eye on the website to see when it goes live, and I will let y'all know. However, one thing I can say, gang, is a lot of stuff is starting to come out, whether it is true information that's coming out or things people are trying to share, politics people are playing, they all sorts of different. There's also, and that's half of what we do here with true crime is we try to weed through all that to find the truth and try to remember assumptions don't get us anywhere. Okay, demanding the truth, yes. Assumptions, no. And one of the best ways to truly be able to find the truth is to listen to everything and be able to pull things together. So we're going to be keeping an eye out. I know they're supposed to go live at 4 o'clock today. There have been a lot of things. There's starting to be a little bit more of a feeling as to what caused the fire. Now, it's rumor right now, but some of the thoughts that are being pushed out right now on the fire itself, and I could see it. I could honestly see it. I could see a lot of other things, though, too, gang, would be that could the fire have been caused by power lines going down during the high winds? We've all been around in a place where you get high winds and power lines come down. Is there a truth behind that? We don't know yet. We haven't seen, the actual facts of it. But it is a thought process that does make sense. So I would not be surprised to hear some information on that. Of course, we know today families were going to start being notified. We're hearing more and more about who has passed, that there's definitely children involved. There was one vehicle alone that had 4 people in it, which included children, and all of them passed away in the vehicle. I just read a story of a woman was identified based off of the watch she had. Her partner recognized the watch. So we're going to start hearing these stories, and these stories are going to be heartbreaking. They really are going to be heartbreaking. But we owe these people, we owe these people the respect and the honor of recognizing what they went through and making sure that changes happen where they need to happen. Make sure we're helping the people who need help, because there's a lot of people who need help. So while we are waiting for that to start, let me real quickly hit this. Let's say hi to a couple people in chat. Let me see. I am not seeing it yet, so we'll come back here. We had, of course, K Crochet. Actually, not of course. I was so happy to see this. Hello, Kay. I saw you pop in there, and I'm like, yes, we got someone new running for that first spot in chat. And then here she goes. Thank you for always being here. I really, really appreciate you on that. And we do have people who came in who were frustrated at what they're seeing. Okay, they're frustrated with the responses they're hearing and stuff like that. And they did leave some messages. Okay, I just got something from HawaiiNewsNow saying that they are live. Here we go. So let me pull that up and switch you guys to the rest of you guys who are here. Here she goes. I said, hi, Sleuth Mom. Hello, hello, hello. They aren't live yet, it looks like, but they've got the screen up. So let me share this real quickly. Afterwards, I have 2 videos I was going to share with you guys. One actually has to do with the banyan tree. The gentleman who took care of the banyan tree for pretty much his whole life was able to go back and see the banyan tree yesterday. And that was rough, watching that. That was definitely rough. Let me get rid of these comments so we have a better screen to look at. So as soon as this starts, we'll start talking about that. Who else we got here? Gladys! Hey Gladys, my dear. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Yeah. Hello, hello. There we go. Now who else we got? Oh, thanks, Gladys. I love you, my dear. I love you, my dear. Thank you so much. And I know there's quite a few people in our community who need prayers right now. My heart's still going out to Amy and her husband. Um, there's a lot of hurt out there right now. A lot of people being hurt in different ways. They're not all related to this. Life continues on. Okay, today's actually the viewing of my uncle. Funeral will be coming up in the next day or two. But yeah, it's really a lot of stuff going on. And also remember all those other people out there. People. Oh, you did. You know what? I bet you I didn't go on to my other account. That's what it is. I will switch over to the other account later.
Our guy, General Logan, we're in agreement now that I should make the order, and I'm making this order to open the Lahaina bypass, the main road, to give access to West Maui.
So this is the
at
announcement
Malea for residents,
about.
first responders, everyone, beginning at 6 p.m. tonight, 6 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So 6 p.m. tonight till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, residents, first responders, and employees in the region of West Maui will be able to get over there. And then, because this will help to decompress our communities and begin the healing of our people, we'll begin a regular cadence every morning from 6 a.m. through 10 p.m. Anyone will be able to travel that road. Please do keep in mind that no one will be allowed to go into the impact zone where the tragedy has occurred, but we will be able to go along the road. Please drive very carefully. There's some road work still going on there. So once again, we have access starting at 6 p.m. tonight for residents, for first responders and employees in the area. And then everyone starting tomorrow from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. will be able to travel like normal as we go about our lives. I will say this then, 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. each night. We will also, again, go back just to basic, absolutely necessary travel for people who are residents and first responders.
I'm happy they're opening things up.
We'll print all this up for everyone so they understand it completely, but we're trying to get back to normal so that people's lives can begin to, in some ways, be reconnected to the other side of the island. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about housing. The response has been large on housing. As we know, hundreds of families and thousands of individuals have lost either their home that they own or their place that they've been renting, and we have to get everyone situated. So, to that end, we have over 500 hotel rooms already up and going. At the Royal Lahaina, we already have 331 people in those hotel rooms. We filled that hotel up right away, but we have a 500-plus hotel room inventory for individuals who have been affected. We also have 473 listings in the state with our Hawaii Fire Relief Housing Program. This is going to be very helpful because this will be for some individuals who are displaced and also a lot of first responders who are going to have to be in the area and the region for some time. Also, we have an Airbnb program that will have over 1,000 available rooms or houses for people to go into. All this will be covered by FEMA. We'll be supportive too. We want everyone to be able to leave the shelters and go into stable housing, which is going to take a very long time.
I heard they want to shut down the shelters.
If you want to get into these programs, into these units, you go and sign up with the Red Cross. So whether you're at a Red Cross facility now, or if you're in a car somewhere, you should also go drive over there and sign up. We have a lot of people from our team on the ground to help the Red Cross, and many people have worked on this program. So I want to thank them all from the county through our experts here in the governor's office. So these are some of the main things I wanted to share with you. These programs are going to be a bridge back toward ultimate reconstruction and rebuilding. But something's important that I need to share, and some people have misconstrued it. What is also of fundamental importance to us is protecting the land for our local people. Some people took out of context a comment I made a day or two ago about purchasing land. That is to protect it for our local people so that it's not stolen by people on the mainland. So I've asked my Attorney General to watch for predatory practices, and we will be embedding attorneys who are going to work pro bono for our people, Maui attorneys for Maui's people, to be at our joint response centers available to all of us. So if people have someone reach out to them to try to get their land, we will be able to get expert legal advice so that doesn't happen. We'll also be raising incredible amounts of resources to protect us financially so that none of that land does fall into anyone else's hands. This is not ever about the government getting land. This is the people's land, and the people will decide what to do with Lahaina. I want to reassure you. I spoke with someone who is dear to all of us this morning, and that's one of our superstar heroes, The Rock, who also was sharing with me his desire to see this land stay in the hands of the people. We agreed completely on that. I was really impressed by his passion for our loved ones here in the state of Hawaii, which he, of course, has many family members here. This is what our goal is. Our goal is to have a local commitment forever to this community as we rebuild. So we will be making sure that we do all that we can to prevent that land from falling into hands of people from the outside.
We need to hold them responsible.
It's not easy to do in some cases, but I do want to send this message out to the world. If someone behaves in a predatory fashion towards one of the people that are suffering right now, who have lost their loved ones, or lost their home, lost their rental, and they try to buy land out from under them, you can be sure I will not be allowing anyone to build or rezone or do anything of that sort if they've taken advantage of anyone here. Rebuilding will be for our local people. We'll work with the world, and we so appreciate the incredible generosity. That generosity demonstrates that most, 99.999% of everyone who has watched these telecasts and this crisis unfold wants to support and love the people of Maui and Hawaii. But it's my job to look out for those who might take advantage. And that's why I make that comment specifically about protecting the land. It will have to be cured and healed after we've seen the destruction of the fire, the metals and the chemicals that went into the land. And that's also something that we're beginning. As I mentioned earlier, we have a large force of people here on the ground. We now have 416 people from FEMA,
just people who live here.
273 specifically from the National Guard as well, 185 in the emergency response,
not just another
with 20 dogs,
up and coming.
finding those who have suffered. 101 lives have now been lost. 27% of the survey has been completed. I spoke with the president this morning. We speak often. He and Jill Biden extend their absolute love and heartfelt regrets about the tragedy that's occurred. They're heartsick that we've lost these 101 souls. They will come to be with us.
101.
If President Biden could just teleport himself over, he would have come here in 5 seconds. I've never seen such dedication in a president who within 6 hours dedicated his time to determine that this was an emergency and to commit full repair, full reconstruction for our people here in Hawaii. So President Biden and I will work out a time for him to come when the tough work is done, when the heartbreaking work is done on the ground, finding those we've lost. He was so sensitive about that. He did not want to interfere with the incredibly difficult emotional and physical work that goes on in a disaster zone.
Yeah.
So in the coming weeks, we'll be joined by the president, as we have been by Senator Schatz and Senator Hirono. Our congressional delegation has been reaching out to us or been there on the ground.
That's worrying me how
Everyone
it's
wants
going
us to
slower
repair
right now.
this wound, but it's going to take time. In the coming days and weeks, we'll update you constantly. We make adjustments occasionally when some of our policies don't work immediately for people, but please be aware, with now over 1,000 responders on the ground from across the globe, with the loss of innumerable houses for those who even were fighting the fire, or the police department, even people that are in the cabinet posts that we've mentioned before on the county level, they're still all working. And we're gonna do all we can to, like I said, support everyone with housing. We'll support them with finances. Reach out to FEMA, sign up for unemployment insurance. If you've lost your home, we'll have people on the ground also to deal with the insurance questions. But know that we'll be there till the end. This Friday, I'll likely deliver a comprehensive address of everything that's gone on. But this is an update so that you know that we're taking action now to reunite the pieces of Maui, to get people back together so that they can get what they need.
That's been a big thing that's been needed.
We're there with you. Our hearts are with you. We are heart sick that we've had such loss. But the First Lady and I send our love along with whatever support we can muster for the people of Maui. Aloha.
So sounds like not a press conference as much as a announcement, and some of that stuff was actually really good news, opening of the road that way, because there's a lot of people that anyone who's ever been to the islands knows that many of our roads are one way in, one way out. And when something shuts down, okay, for example, when I used to go up to the North Shore to work, if you had an accident on that road, there was no getting to work. You literally would not get to work. When I was on Kauai, we used to have to send people home from work early because we had storms coming in and we knew, okay, the road would flood out. So you learn these things over time. So having that road will be a huge help. It allows people to connect with family. They may have family on the other side of Maui, for example, things like that. Couple things I did want to share. I've got two different things I was going to play, but first of all, the land business. Sleuth asked some questions there, and I'm sure other people were wondering. This was a huge issue that was popping up initially because he made a comment that was taken, okay, in a way very concerning to all of us. Lahaina is the seat of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Okay, you have places, families that have been there forever and ever. The land itself, okay, has so many memories and so much history in it. And the big fear has been that we've got this huge stretch of land that has a small little harbor and gorgeous views and all that. Are you going to have people come in and buy up all of this land? Okay, because much of this land was historical land to begin with. So it could not be sold. Well, now that you don't have the museums there, you don't have many of these other places there, people were worried that people would come in and just buy up large tracts of Lahaina and turn it into another huge resort town and all. And we would forget what Lahaina truly was, okay, because it's still there. And if there's one thing you know from Hawaii is that the land, Madam Pele, okay, has destroyed whole towns. Towns will come back, and it doesn't change the history of what happened on that land. Okay, the banyan tree, I'm going to share with you guys this video about the banyan tree. So what do I say with this? This is great. This is wonderful. They're looking at this. Yes, we have to make sure that that it's actually done, that they follow this. That's what all of us, no matter where you live, that's your job as a person who lives in your neighborhood. When things are promised, you follow through and you make sure, okay, that things are being followed through and followed up on. And if they're not, there's a reason why. And but I'm happy to hear this. Plus, there is the fact we've got families who've lived on some of this land forever and ever. Okay, longer than many of us have been alive. Most of us, if not all, well, actually all of us have been alive. And so I'm happy to hear that. What I want to do real quickly, I mentioned I have two different videos I wanted to share with y'all. One is an update that the governor actually gave on, I think it was HawaiiNewsNow this morning. And it goes a little more in depth with some of the stuff that we're knowing at this point. So I did want to share that. And then the other is actually, a lot of people have talked about the banyan tree. So I'm going to start with the governor's thing, and then we'll go to the banyan tree last. And so this is going to be a fairly short live. I just really wanted to pull together what was being said and figure out what that meant for us. And so this first thing is actually a little longer. Okay, he came into our morning news and spoke with people over there about what is going on and gave us some more information about, for example, yes, like this says up here, multiple children are on the list. Okay, and families will be getting notification about those people. So I am going to stop this one off and on so we can talk about it. But please let me know if you guys have questions, thoughts, what you're, like I said earlier, there's starting to be a little bit more discussion about the fact that maybe the electric company, their power lines may have come down during the winds and caused the fire. That is an assumption, but it is an assumption that is picking up a lot more steam now.
We have Governor Josh
here we
Green
go.
here. Obviously, a very busy, very grim time. And today, we're expecting to hear the first IDs of the casualties. A viewer just asking, are there children among the missing?
Tragically, yes. And I'm just going to be very direct with people always. When the bodies are smaller, we know it's a child. There was a car, we know, for example, that had 4 people in it. It was obviously a family of 4 and 2 children in the back seat. So we see some of these settings where, or it's a group of 7 people in a house, and you know when it's children. That's one of the toughest parts of this, and it's also, if I may share with people, it's one of the reasons that we are humbly asking for some patience about going into the ground zero area, because some of the sites are too much to share or see from just a human perspective, and also we don't want to disrupt any of the recovery. They're really now moving much more quickly through it, and I know it can be frustrating for some to not be able to drive the road, but that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I could see these people, it's a limited number of people who are trying to recover. And in any disaster, whether it's typhoon, tsunami, explosions, things like that. Yeah, sleuth, exactly. It would make sense. It truly would make sense. The thought of children and going through and coming up against a small body or something, that's going to be hard on these people. And these people, many of them are already themselves, they're firefighters themselves from this area. So it's more stuff that they're having to go through. Hello, Princess Megan. Love you, my dear. Love you, love you, love you. And also, let me go back to this.
So because of that, there are also residents who are just trying to figure out if they can get access to maybe people who may be stranded in West Maui, or also whether their houses are still standing.
Yes.
Who is allowed to go into this area right now? Because there's a lot of confusion.
Residents are allowed to go through.
They just need an ID?
Right, they bring their ID and they're getting approved on a case-by-case basis. And I know that that was some confusion, and the police chief and mayor were very open about the attempts that they made, and they made great faith attempts, like the good faith efforts to get that thing open. But then there were so many other bystanders that wanted to get in, tourists, and people were ducking down into the crisis zone, that it was actually blocking our ability to do some of the work. But yes, residents can get through. Also, we've been moving all aid trucks through. Also, just if individuals needed to move ice or food through, we were making that accommodation.
And that's through the main channel you're talking about, not the back way.
Right. We were using the main channel for all relief.
Now, news that we just heard there, they're opening up the road completely. Okay, it's going to be tonight at 6 p.m. They're going to open it up. I forget if it was just till 10 or something tonight, or midnight maybe. And then tomorrow it's going to start being like 6 p.m. to, I think it was 10 p.m. 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., something like that. So, and then they'll go and shorten it down. So for locals, if you happen to be a local and you're watching this, there should be a lot more ability for you to go back and forth. A lot more ability for you to go visit other family members, things like that. And you know what? On a mental health level, being able to connect with your family, your friends, and mourn together, celebrate your own life together, be able to hug people, things like that, that's important. That is super important, just right there. All the counseling in the world can't help with going through scenes like this. Yeah, the first responders, what they're having to go through, guys, and they need rotations. So, there's got to be probably at least twice as many as they need, because you have to rotate them in and out, and see how it goes from there. So hello, Mr. Robbie. How you doing, my dear? And also.
And then the back way, of course, is available too. I was there, and we have a lot of supplies over there. We've moved over we moved over 1 million pounds of food and over 100,000 pounds of ice, it appears now. And people are also getting housed now. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. But
One thing I did want to say, because I have heard from some people talking about how some people are not getting services and all. This is where we as a community can step up. We need to find out where those locations are. Find out, is it because they can't get services or they don't know how to get the services? Do they maybe have to drive to go to one of the locations to pick up stuff and they don't have a vehicle, maybe? Okay, different things like that. So having people around who can, if you hear people talking about not being able to get this, trying to find out why can they not get it, so that we can try to figure out. And if there's a hole there, we need to speak up to the government and let them know. Okay, we have a hole here. We have this community here who seems like many of them are having this problem. What can we do to fix it? So, Rappy, sleepy boy, you need to get some sleep. Even though you kept me up till 6:30 this morning, mister. I do have to say that. So, never check YouTube when you wake up to go to the bathroom. Okay, not a good thing. Put it that way. So
the main thing that people should know is, by yesterday afternoon, we got through 25% of the homes in the area, the grid, searching for our lost loved ones. That's accelerating now because now there are 20 dogs and there are dozens and dozens of FEMA personnel doing the search with our firefighters. The chief said yesterday that he believes by Saturday or Sunday, he hopes at 85%, and he doesn't want to be held to a specific number because weather can get in the way, other things can get in the way. But as soon as we get out of phase 0, which is clearing all of the grid, knowing we got, if at all possible, all of the people identified or all of the...
Girl, that's turning into another huge issue, because actually Hawaii has a big homeless issue. We've got a serious homeless problem out here. And Lahaina was not, a stranger to it. There used to be a lot of homeless hanging out near the banyan tree area, and things like that. So, you know what I'm hearing, there's becoming much more of a push about that, where I think a lot of the issue comes, especially with homeless, is you're also dealing with many people who don't want to be close to organized type things. You know how sometimes you hear some people, they don't want to be in the shelters or things like that, especially in Hawaii. It's gorgeous, things like that. And but I don't think they're going and saying, okay, I need to see your address. Okay, nope, you don't have an address. They are helping everyone. The shelter, what I'm hoping, I have a good friend of mine who works within the homeless, the department that works with the homeless. And I'm going to go talk with him about that later on today. I'm going to send him a message and find out. Because to me, on a public health point of view, this is the perfect time for us to get into, these locations and try to find out who these people are. How can we get extra services? I know they know many of the homeless to begin with. They have whole databases, knowing who's out there and who needs help and who does. We all know who they are. I know in my local area who the homeless are in general. Maybe even by name sometimes. And also, Sleuth Mom is saying, I know they do like entire camp villages. Yeah, we've got a huge thing because of the beach. Families, we actually have a issue where you have actual families with children who are homeless. And this issue is now going to become so much worse. And we need to get the word out to people about, it looks like FEMA's going to pay for some of these bed and breakfasts and things like that. So getting the information and getting it out to the people, hopefully they will agree to take advantage of these things. Some of them may not, and that's fine. That's fine. How can we get them other services? How can we get them food? How can we this is where the public health person in me goes crazy, because I know there's so many issues out there that need to be taken care of right now. So, yep, prayers for the homeless. It really, guys, I won't even get started on the issues we've had in the past where certain states on the mainland have actually paid homeless with a one-way ticket to Hawaii because they know it's a safe place for them to go. Weather is good. They don't have to worry about, negative degree weather. And people trying to survive in freezing cold temperatures. So, yeah, we've got a lot of work we got to do on that.
The tragic loss of life reconciled, then we open the road without any hesitation whatsoever. Also, I've authorized the National Guard and our active military folks to completely support the mayor's effort if they have to post along the road so that we can open it a little more quickly. But really, we are so appreciative of people's understanding and patience, and most people are.
So in talking about whether you're at the shelter, in a tent, at a friend's house, for those who are trying to get any kind of housing, whether it's a hotel, an Airbnb, where did they go in order to get that?
The best thing to do is sign up at the Red Cross. I did a contract with the Red Cross yesterday, which is going to run for more than 6 months, and it's going to accommodate anyone's needs. The Red Cross then will put you right into one of our hotel rooms. We got hundreds of hotel rooms up and running. I think it was, as of last night, over 450 hotel rooms, and I was with people as we put them into their hotel rooms on the west side. They're going to be our central organizer, the Red Cross is, but also today we're going to have over 1,000 Airbnbs come online, and we'll be matching either survivors and families to hotel rooms or Airbnbs or first responders, because
this is great that we're a tourist island.
Force is going to be gigantic in support of our people.
Lots of rooms
so all
that we
that's
can
going
put
on.
people
We have
in.
well over 2,000 units available now, and we want to get everyone out of all of the shelters by week's end.
The evacuees have been through.
That amazed me. Okay, and yeah, some people are going to be like, oh my gosh, they're shutting down the shelters. I think one of the reasons why they like to shut shelters down as quickly as possible, especially if you can get people into, as long as there's rooms to get them into. And it sounds like there's more than enough rooms. We just got to get people into the right rooms and all. Having shelters can be very hard on mental health. Okay, think about yourself. If you had just lost your house and you were being expected to sleep on cots on the floor with a bunch of other people who are going through emotions and stuff like that, okay, you can't, it's hard to move on and start trying to figure out how to get your life back, to be honest. So I suspect that's a lot of the reason why they're trying to do this. Also, they can get some of these other locations back for other reasons, okay, depending on what that location does. But I am very happy. I personally expected this weekend I'm going to be at Made in Hawaii, and I thought it's going to be at the convention center. I thought they would have shut down the convention center and brought people over to Oahu and set them up there. But it really has impressed me how you've got hotels, motels, bed and breakfast, okay, houses, okay, auntie, uncle's house type things. Everyone's stepping up and helping out with this. So maybe people can, by this weekend, start trying to figure out how to get back into some level of whatever that new normal is. You guys know the new normal. It's kind of like with COVID. Life is never going to be the same after COVID, but we've got a new normal that is slowly starting to take a hold. And that's where they need to find what is their new normal going to look like.
So much. For those who were the first to be placed in these hotel rooms, what was their reaction?
They were so relieved. A lot of them had many children. There were a lot of Filipino families that lived in Lahaina, large families. The kids were hugging and frolicking together because they're schoolmates, right? They're all from the same school. They were playful, but then they'd be playful for one moment, and boy, some of these kids are growing up very fast. Then the 16-year-old who just got his driver's license would say he grabbed one of his siblings and was able to find his mother, and the first or second drive he ever took was from a fire scene to get out to save their lives. And then they went and played again, and then they were playing with their Pokemon cards. So it's an incredible situation, but just to be safe at the hotels in a clean bed was something to behold.
Hopefully hundreds more heading into that space. I want to talk about the Critical Needs Assistance Program from FEMA, because it's a one-time $700 cash availability for them. How do people get that? How do they get access to that?
They sign up. So you sign up with FEMA, and they will be able to, I'm told by the local director, the Region 9 director, cash will go right into their account. So it'll be like a direct deposit. And that can be life-saving, because then they can get food and water, and they've lost clothing and stuff right away. And then there's much larger amounts of money for like rental support and ultimately, of course, replacement for damage.
You're a medical doctor. With people going back into this area of disaster, we've talked about how toxic it is, how hazardous it is. They recommend that you wear gloves, that you wear masks. If you don't take those precautions, what could happen to you?
You could get long-term lung disease. It's possible. It depends how long you're in there. We saw from 9/11 when the catastrophe occurred that a lot of people ended up with very serious chronic disease because there's asbestos in those old houses, and it's, of course, in the dust right now. If dust blows up and you inhale that, it's bad. I was in there for, well, 2 different times, and the first time I didn't wear a mask the whole time, and I came out of there a little wheezy, and I don't have any underlying lung conditions. I was doing it because I really wanted to see very carefully and embrace whoever was there as first responders, but I mean, you got to be careful. It's one of the many reasons that we want to get through this phase of things, have the EPA go in, have a lot of our assessment go on before we have people down there a lot.
All right, so there are a lot of rumors circulating, and I don't know whether they're true or not. One of them that people are trying to do a land grab right now from the local people, and you issued a proclamation, I believe. Is that already in effect to stop that?
Well, so I talked to the Attorney General about that, and so I'm having her work on it. Legally, it's very difficult to stop outside buyers from buying anything, but I can make it very difficult for any transactions to occur, and that's what I'm going to do. And if we do find a legal mechanism to stop any transactions for 90 days, and then we can re-up it, that's what I'm going to do. There are legality questions because there's all sorts of fair commerce rules, which you would think through human nature people would adhere to. But there are vultures out there that would steal our people's land.
Mama Jane understands.
I'm going to do all that I can to stop that and protect our people's land so that they can go back eventually, or whatever people decide, whether they want to turn this into a memorial and then have us build houses up above, because we have hundreds of acres up above Lahaina, and that might be where the new Lahaina town goes. But that's for the people to decide. Meanwhile, I will stop predatory purchasing best I can.
Pioneer Hotel.
I'm also going to warn people right now on your show that if they think that they're going to get a permit from me or the county to build something, they have another thing coming.
I'm happy to hear him this strong on
this. If they come and steal some local person's land and also want to come and build a $10 million house on the shore, I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen because they will have victimized our people.
Because
the Maui property tax, Howard was telling us.
This is my feeling on this. He has come so strong now on this that if he goes and backs out of this, it's something that he's going to have to answer for, to be honest. So I'm happy to hear him being this strong on this. Okay, yes, we need stuff for tourism. We need hotels. We need things like that. But you know what? Our locals need a place to live. Okay, this is their home. And I'm happy they're remembering that. Love you, Mama Jane. I love you, my dear. Yep, Maui Strong.
Is actually due next week, and I just can't imagine for these people who have lost everything that they would have to pay for that. Do we know if the county is going to be making any moves to try to help them with that?
You know, of course, I can't speak totally for the county, but Mayor Biston has been very accountable to people's requests, and he's very thoughtful about such things. And I would guess that he will suspend that for some time and put it way out. Of course, we shouldn't have anyone paying any taxes of any kind if they've had losses. And we will, at the state level, forgive anyone any fines, fees, or any consideration if they don't pay those taxes. But I would bet that the mayor will suspend that.
We have a couple of storms that we're really tracking closely, and there's a possibility that we're going to get stronger winds this week, and then even Sunday, Monday.
This is something that I've been telling a lot of people privately about this. We are in the worst part of hurricane season for us. Our hurricanes tend to hit in September. Okay, that's history for us. And we just had this one go through. We've got 2 more storms out there right now. And one of them, luckily, I think is going to die down before it gets to us. Okay, but we get, even if it's not a storm, okay, we still get a lot of rain, winds, things, a lot of other things still do happen, so.
A lot of rain, which could be environmentally a disaster. Do you know what's being done exactly to try to prevent anything?
Yes, I do. So we're in direct conversations right now with HECO's leadership and making a determination if we have high winds exactly how to handle them in the wake of this storm with this much infrastructure down. So we'll all be on the same page. The question will be whether or not to preemptively power down or not. for a short period of time, because right now all of the infrastructure is weaker. It's not even at its core base standard. So yes, we know that. Of course, we'd welcome water in general in Hawaii and Maui especially, because we want to suppress any wildfire hotspot. So I want the rain, ironically, but that's why we're racing right now to do all the recovery that we can, because winds or heavy rain in that disaster setting, which you're showing right now, it will make it even harder to get the final determination of who we lost.
Yeah.
Governor, you touched on this a
They'll
little
have
bit in
to
the
stop
press conference
searching,
yesterday
I would
about
think.
finding jobs, because not only are people not in homes, they lost their jobs, there are no businesses. It's like, how do you keep an economy going when they're not able to earn money or spend it?
Two things. One, we're going to have a lot of work to do, three things, to accommodate the people that are in the region. So there won't be typical tourism, but we are going to be housing a lot of people, locals and people who come for recovery, because it's going to be 6-month, year, 2-year, depends how much debris we ultimately find, process. So there's going to be a lot of local work. Then, so there's the hotels, there'll be the debris recovery and early building work, and then my early intentions are to do a Hawaii Works program, not unlike what FDR did in the old days, where we have a works program where we can put our local people into jobs specifically around all the projects that have to do with recovery. Some of that will be parks, some of that will be, of course, the debris work, some of it will be construction, but a public works program that we fund with our resources, which goes back right into our economy and goes to all of our people.
Do you have your next update planned yet?
Yeah, I do. Well, so I'm gonna do my best now to reinstitute the whiteboard once a day.
Yeah, he's been doing this
instead of
whiteboard
being
every
just
day that I've
60
been
seconds,
thinking
it might
about
be more like
adding
2
in.
minutes because there's so
It's 2
much to
minutes.
share.
Yeah.
I'll keep doing all the local news that you ever ask that I can, and then some national news. I think I may very well give a statewide address at the end of the week also.
Yeah, so much going on, and I know you're very busy. We appreciate your time, though, in being here today, Governor.
Thank you.
All right, coming up.
You know what? No matter what we think about things, if there's one thing I have to say, guys, is I know some people are like, okay, is he saying the truth? Okay, is it BS, as someone said earlier in chat? You know, we're getting information. I'd rather be getting information and have to go through the question of, okay, how much of this is real versus not real, than not have anything at all coming my way. That's my thought. And because hello, Kim, and you are welcome, my dear. You are welcome, and thank you for the prayers. I know they're needed. I know today, for example, the phone calls are starting to go out, and as we see pictures. So I have one other video I did want to share before we kind of pull things either together at the end or talk about other things. But a lot of people have asked me about the banyan tree. For those of you who know, the banyan tree has been there forever. It's actually multiple trees, and there's one that's just amazing. And it's part of the thing. If you pull up Lahaina, if you literally pull up the word Lahaina, okay, things to do in Lahaina, the banyan tree is going to be right there at the top of the list. And that was the fear, because the video you guys were seeing when everything was on fire was the park where the banyan trees were. That's where it was. And sorry, but trees are wood. Wood burns. And just the fear of what would happen with that. The good news is the tree's there. The tree is there. Has it been burnt horribly? Yes. Hey, DC, how you doing, my dear? Hello, hello. And it has been burnt. All of them have been burnt. But people are hoping that they're going to be able to actually help it recover. And I'm really thinking, I've heard of talks of memorials and all that. I really wouldn't be surprised to see if they can get the banyan tree back. Okay, bring in people who know how to nurse, okay, flora back to life, and that they can help out, and put maybe even the memorial in that area. And but anyhow, this is a news story that I came up, 150-year-old landmark, the banyan tree. They interviewed the gentleman who actually has taken care of this tree. It was his first job he ever had, was taking care of this tree, and that's been his job since. Okay, going into the park, taking care of the trees, all that. And I have been looking for the last few days for a picture of the banyan tree to see exactly what it looks like. And this was the first time I actually got to see the banyan tree. And it was emotional getting to see this tree. I know it's a tree. People are like, what? It's a freaking tree. What? No, it's more than just a tree to everyone. It really is. Okay. But seeing this gentleman. So anyhow, let me pull it. This one's not as long as the last one, but still.
Of ash and rubble, some homes still stand in Lahaina.
It's hard to be happy about us when you see the devastation.
People living on the edge of town see for the first time what little is left. The fire coming within feet, but still sparing their homes.
Oh, it's on fire. I was driving through smoking trees.
Anthony Steele's condo still stands, but the night of the firestorm, he was with his 83-year-old grandma at his childhood home near the old Pioneer Sugar Mill smokestack.
I had to carry her out because she didn't want to leave. She was doing dishes.
He saved her life, his dogs too, but he couldn't save everything.
I lost all my pets, all my roosters, over 200 of them.
He left with only a handful of clothing as a tsunami of fire marched all the way to the ocean. The next day, he came back to nothing.
I don't think I have any more tears left for what I saw.
Anthony says the loss goes far beyond his family's history.
I take care of the banyan tree. I've been doing, that's the only job
Here's
I had
the
since
banyan tree.
2009.
He went to visit the famed banyan tree the next day, where he maintained the grounds with the Lahaina Restoration Foundation, his emotions spilling out. He says much of Lahaina's history, from sugar plantations to the whaling industry, preserved in local museums, is gone forever.
All that work, the old ice boxes, the chairs, anything you could think of, old stuff, all gone in hours.
He says it will take years to try and rebuild this town, and he's been overwhelmed with the support from neighboring islands.
Lahaina can never repay the amount of love.
Anthony isn't sure what will happen to the tree he loves, but he knows his grandmother will be safe.
I'm gonna make sure she survives with me. I don't care. I don't care what happens. She'll be with me until she passes. She's 84. I'm not gonna let her go anywhere.
That story said so much to me because, yeah, it's your seniors, your kapuna. I still haven't heard what I mentioned yesterday. I came across the story of what looked like a care home where people were trying to figure out what happened with the people there. I have not been able to dig up any more information on that. So Kim is saying, I'm hoping the fires can be contained soon. And yeah, I agree. And those that are missing, those that are unaccounted for, I'm really, every day I try to go into that list that I shared with everyone yesterday. And I look for people because certain names kind of stick to you. And that's what I've been doing, looking for and trying to find all that. So, AJ, I'm doing good. Self-made vacation. Yes, I'm happy you're taking a vacation. I appropriately won't talk. I get you, my dear. We'll talk later about your trip. Okay, we'll have to hit it up over in Discord or something at some point. And Mama Jane, get some rest, my dear. Get some rest. And also, it's amazing. There's certain people that in knowing people on YouTube, I've come across certain people where Hawaii, you may have only been here once in your life, or maybe not even been here, but there's just something about the people, the spirit, all that just connects with you. And Mama Jane's been one of those. Okay. There's a lot of people that I know have their heart is right here. And also, we really got to start using my other, I know I know what you mean. That is fine, my dear. I just have to, I remember, I call you AJ or DC. I never know which one to give you, but you answer to both, so it works. And also, but anyhow, going with this, and I'm not sure how I'm going to follow up because it does sound like he's going to do some stuff on Friday, and I'm going to be at the Made in Hawaii Expo. So maybe I'll ask my friend to real quickly let me leave for about an hour so we can do a live during that. We'll find out. I'll find out what the Wi-Fi is like. Convention center Wi-Fi is not always the best. So, but to kind of go through, just hit up a couple of these areas and everything to kind of let y'all know what's been going on. So we are at 101 That's up from yesterday. It's up 2 from yesterday, so that's good. Okay. From what I did read earlier, part of the area that has not been looked at yet is the worst hit area. Now, I'm not sure where that is on the map. Is it closer to where there's stores and restaurants, or is it closer to the home area? That's what I'm not sure about right now, what area they're talking about there. We do know that certain places, Fleetwood's is gone, and there were quite a few people that worked at Fleetwood's that have not been found. So, we've got stuff about the bypass road. In Hawaii, a lot of our areas, Kauai was this way too. We had bypass roads. The Kapa'a bypass there was basically one road. Like I said, you go anywhere on these islands, you've got one road pretty much getting you around the area. But what they would have is through the cane fields and stuff, they would have bypass roads. And I used to, there were some times that I'd take the bypass road, Kapa'a bypass, because it was so much quicker. And than dealing with all the traffic of the main road and all that, because you'd have a lot of people, just normal traffic, then you'd have people who are tourists who are looking at things and all that. So the bypass being open is going to be huge help there. Just going through this real quick, see if there's any more updates and everything. Families finding people, tourists who are here at the time. I'm definitely happy we did not have any large tourist groups in there at the time, because I know there are moments that have large groups there, so that was good. As I mentioned here, Hawaiian Electric is taking a huge hit right now. Not only is there the question of should they have turned off the power or not? Okay, that's a big question. Do you turn off the power in the middle of all this, knowing that it could potentially, because of the way everything is set up, it was going to affect water pressure and people who needed things like ventilators and stuff like that at their house? But what the concern is now is that, as I mentioned earlier, that in the high winds, some of their power lines may have come down. And could that be what caused the fires? No proof on that yet. Okay, there's some things that people are thinking might be leading to proof, but nothing official yet. However, with all of this, as you can see right there on the news, okay, their stock is taking a plummet right now. Massive plummet. Of course, I'm sitting here. If you know Hawaii, we basically have one electric company for each island, and that's it. And also, Hawaiian Electric is pretty much the monopoly on electricity for the whole state. I think there's maybe 2 other companies, very few other companies. So that's, yes, it's gone down, but I suspect it'll go right back up at some point. Maui schools are opening again. Here's where I was talking about the 75% includes the hardest hit areas. Yeah, I think that's about, donations. Let you guys know this. I was talking to my brother today. My brother, like I said, he works for a company that has locations on all the islands. He works with their social media and all. And they have been taking donations like crazy for the last couple days. They today went to go drop off a lot of the physical donations, not the financial ones, but the physical ones at our local here on Oahu drop-off sites. All the drop-off sites have stopped taking physical items at this point. So we started hearing yesterday that people were being told, please funnel money into the different organizations so that they can focus in the correct way. For those of you who happen to know a family, like I know families there also. So I'm helping families, but I'm also trying to help on the larger, because unfortunately, not everyone on Maui knows other people who can help support them. So I want to make sure we're helping as many people as possible. But they have stopped accepting actual items. So again, I've got up, it's tagged up at the top. I pinned it. If you want to donate, please, you can come in here and you can donate by clicking. Sorry, let me pull this over here and type this in. You can go to this website here and donate right away. It should be popping up in chat in a second if Batismo is behaving itself, which it should be. If not, go up to the pin and you can go to the Hawaii News website, HawaiiNewsNow website, and find the place that seems to be calling your name the most. And if you have questions, guys, let you guys know this. If you have questions about the different agencies, you're on the mainland and you really just don't know about this. It's like, okay, how is this guy? I've heard that this company is horrible on the mainland. How is it on Oahu? Contact me. Most of you guys know how to get me on Discord or on Facebook or things like that. If you don't know how to get me in any of those other areas, email me and just say, hey, I'm thinking about donating to whatever. Okay. And let me know. Ooh, yes. Bring those down. Ale. Ale is it? Yeah, Ale. Is Oprah helping in Maui? From what I am seeing, Oprah has a house there. Okay, in all honesty, gang. Oprah lives there. So do a lot of people. By the way, I love you, Siren. A lot of big stars have houses on Maui. And no matter how we feel on Oprah, and I'll be honest, gang, okay, there's been times in my life I was not a big Oprah fan, to be honest. I'm going to be open and honest with you on that. From what I see her doing right now, she's bringing hope to a lot of people. She has not just come in there and said hi at one place and then left right away. She seems to be really spending time, okay, giving hope to people who feel hopeless right now, listening to them, giving them a hug. Guys, no matter how we feel about someone, when you see someone that is a name like that, Ale, and that's actually what you just said there is actually one of the reasons why I was not a big fan of hers at one time. Okay, she used to be in Chicago, and I've got family in Chicago, and yeah, let's just say I kind of was frustrated because the help that was being given out was not it was more done for other reasons, let's put it that way. So I get what you're saying. I completely get what you're saying, Al. Totally get what you're saying. I do have to say, though, out of all of the stars, okay. Oh, Rock. Are you talking about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock? Yeah, right now I'm hearing there's two people who have been pretty active. Oprah has been on a lot of TV shows with the news, okay, talking to people, giving hugs and all that. And like I said, it's still better than nothing. Dwayne The Rock Johnson I just heard he was talking to the governor today in today's thing. Oh, at a concert. Rock star from Wailea. There's been quite a few rock stars from there. I mean, some of the Beach Boys, things like that. And my feeling is on these times, there's this thing that even if you don't like someone, like I've been able to meet some politicians that I don't like. But the moment I met them, I may not have liked their politics or anything, but when they showed that they cared about me as a person, it kind of gave me that little push, that little like, oh, I matter. So that's why, to be honest, I'm very happy with what she is doing right now. I don't know. I haven't talked to anyone who has actually spent time with her, but I'm sure the people who have seen her have been very happy with it. And so now is she there doing it just for the views? Possibly, very possibly, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm not in her head. And so Tia Carrera, no idea on Tia Carrera, my dear. And but there are a lot of people. If you type in celebrity homes Maui, yeah, the list is, I mean, let me see if I can pull that up right now. I mean, there are tons of people who, and that's been part of the problem here. A lot of us were very concerned, especially the people on Maui, were very, very concerned about what happens if people who have tons and tons of money come in and start building $10 million homes, and all the locals don't get any ability to rebuild where their family has literally been for generations. So some of the homes on that island, just to let you guys know right now, I just pulled up an article from a few days ago from MauiResources.com, and they are saying, let me see, actually, let me pull it up so you guys can see it while I'm showing it. Celebrity homes. So you've got Oprah Winfrey, Will Smith, Willie Nelson, Woody Harrelson, Owen Wilson, Justin Bieber, Morgan Freeman, Bill Gates, Julia Roberts, Lady Gaga. So, I mean, this is Oprah's property. And that luckily the fires were not near their area. And you know what? I am going to say luckily, because no one deserves to have their house burnt down, no matter who they are, whether they have money or not. And so go get some rest, Miss Kim. Love you, my dear, and thanks for hanging out. And also, yeah, these are all and that's what a lot of the fear. So when you hear people talking about they did not want people coming in, and here's Fleetwood's. Okay, Mick Fleetwood. It was his restaurant and bar right down there on Front Street. And and that's gone. It's completely gone. So yeah, it's really got a lot of different things going on within those. I'm just happy that what it sounds like to me, gang, is that at least, is it just word? Okay, is it just lip service? I don't know, but it looks like there's systems they're trying to put in place. And if we don't give, it's Steve Tyler that cares about the residents. There you go. There you go. Yeah, and see, we don't know who's here right now either. Okay, a lot of these celebrities, they're not here all the time. They kind of come and go. So many of them may not have even been here. They may have had to fly in. I actually, last Wednesday, the day after all this happened, I actually was at the airport, and the number of people who were flying out, I was at the terminal for Hawaiian Airlines. So it was the Inner Island terminal, and it was crazy and all. But it's great. And we have some of these celebrities are amazing people. They really are amazing people. They become part of your community. Okay, I mean, I live, Dog Chapman, okay, is literally about 2.5 miles from my house. And don't get me started on that one. But no, different people, different ways, okay, and but they become part of your community at some point too, especially if they want to become part of your community. And because in the end, the one thing about the people of Hawaii that I love, I mean, I've lived here since I was in high school. I mean, I've lived here since 87. We moved out here in 1987. My dad was in the military. And what I learned very quickly is the people of Hawaii, and it doesn't matter what culture, what ethnicity, they care for each other. They truly do care for each other. And yes, do we have the same problems every other state and city has? Yes, we do. But you know what? When someone is hurt, they're going to bust their butt to try to help that person. And that's what we're all going to be doing right now. So I'll let you know if I hear more about donations and stuff. I'll definitely let y'all know that. I think right now I'm even looking at other ways we can do. I'm looking at the people who are helping right now. It's not just people who've lost their house. It's people and companies who are going out of their way to help these people. Okay, these hotels who are opening up their hotel rooms for Red Cross workers, for families that don't have anywhere else to stay, things like that. And those are the companies that I want to support them. Okay, I want to support that hotel. When I'm going to go back to Maui and visit someday, I want to stay at one of those hotels because of what they have now done to help the community. Okay, that's my way of thinking with things. Steve Tyler seems like one who'd care a lot. Yeah, he does. He really does. If you listen to him, he definitely sounds like one who would care. Ale, your brother opened up a condo to his... Do you mind me asking, are you yourself from Maui? Or are you Oahu? Or I can tell your brother is from Maui. And see, that's the thing. I mean, all of us, we're a little bit from everywhere. Even if you spend some time there, you grew up. I don't know if you local went high school there, grade school where you grad, um, but you had pride for where you're from. That's what people. I think people get it because no matter where you're from, you have pride in your community, and the pride here as a culture. I mean, Kumukuhua Theater. Okay, how many places do you know in the US that has a theater that literally does theater that's written by locals about local life? That's what Kumukuhua Theater does. And so it's just this wanting to learn from each other, wanting to kind of understand where people are coming. It's just the most amazing. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, gang, honestly. We're Midwest. Okay, brother owns a condo on Waimea. I love Waimea for vacation and rental, but lives in Midwest. Okay, got it. Oh, Wailea, not Waimea. I was like, Waimea, that would be Kauai. And so Wailea. Okay, Grand Wailea and all that. Oh my God, yes. There's some gorgeous places out that way. So, and yeah, I think that's amazing. The way I said earlier, I really honestly thought that, sorry, dogs are starting to get noisy. I thought they were going to have so many people that were homeless and had nowhere to stay that I thought they were going to have to fly everyone from Maui to Oahu and open up the convention center. Our convention center has like tons of different rooms. I mean, I should give you guys a tour of it this weekend while I'm there. And but just tons of rooms. I mean, during COVID, that's where they set up, well, that, and they also did a lot of stuff over at the Blaisdell. But I thought they were going to do that. That's why I was thinking, okay, Made in Hawaii Expo probably canceled. No. I mean, and it's better for people. Where do you want to stay? If you've lost your house, do you really want to have to move hundreds of miles away? Or a couple hundred miles, not 100. Well, yeah. And it's kind of like, for those of you, I know a lot of you guys are kind of going through a lot of flashbacks and memories because of Katrina. This is reminding a lot of people of Katrina. Sorry, puppy wants my attention. It's bringing back a lot of memories of having to leave your house, losing your house, moving into other places. People were going from New Orleans all the way to Texas and living in Texas. This is probably one of the biggest things since then, when you look at it on that level. For Hawaii, the last time I remember anything this big was Hurricane Iniki. And so, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot of Hawaii stuff right now, so, but I guess that's what the title says. So, and, but hopefully we'll hear more. Every day when I do a post or something, I'm dreading seeing the faces of the people who've been lost. I'm really dreading that. And I know it's coming. I've already seen some of the families that they themselves are like, no, we haven't been officially notified yet, but yes, we know we've lost these people. Okay, like I said, the one woman who was identified by her partner who recognized her watch. And so, like they said, as of yesterday, 99 people, and 3 of them had been identified by fingerprints. All the rest, they're looking at DNA or other ways of recognizing. That's what we're looking at here. And it's hard to accept. It's really hard to accept. So, but I'll let you guys know what I hear about the rest of it. I am going to take the little muttlets here and we're going to go help Grandma, aren't we? Yes, we are. This one is in the most grubby looking. We need a bath. Do you need a bath? Oh, yes. You get a bath? You want a bath? Uh-oh. It's like, no, I don't want a bath. I want treats. That's what I want, are treats. Oh, yes, you want treats. Say hi to everyone. Say bye-bye. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It really, it's hard to watch, and the stories are going to come out now, and that's the hard part. Okay, that's the time when we would like to change the subject over to, well, who's to blame, who's this, okay, what about that, what about that? We can't forget these are people, and each of them have stories that need to be told. So love each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for the last hour. I will let you know, I have noticed the governor is doing these 2-minute updates multiple times throughout the day. They're, like he said, the whiteboard things. They literally are him standing at a whiteboard with a bunch of updated information. And so I was thinking about adding those in for you guys as just real quick 2-minute videos. But Puppy Bomb, yep, Puppy Bomb. Puppy Bomb is my backrest right now. So, mwah, I love you. You're a good girl. So the other two are somewhere. I don't, oh, there's one right there. Yep, there's the other one there. Hi, Pia. Say hi, Pia. Hi, Pia. Halpia, for those of you, is actually a dessert. It's a coconut dessert, and it's pure white. So yeah, it fits for this dog. So, except for when she's dirty, which is most of the time. So, love you guys tons. I will see y'all tomorrow. There's a good chance we're going to be on my channel for the live with Sleuth and I. Okay, a lot going on tomorrow, so we're going to see if everything comes together the way we want it to, but we suspect it will, but we'll probably do it over on my channel. So keep an eye out for that. So other than that, I will see y'all later. I'm holding a dog treat in my hand, so I'm going to go give the dogs a treat and then go see Mom. Love y'all tons. Thanks for popping in, and stay safe. God bless. Aloha and mahalo gang. Love you guys.